So if you didn't know, now you know that Nashua Board of Education voted to de-level the Nashua Public School middle schools this week, last week.
So Miss Darling,
Yes.
Miss Raymond,
Yes.
Mr. Claffey,
No.
Miss Brown,
No.
Miss Oden.
Yes.
I am a yes. Miss Johnson,
No.
Miss Bishop,
Yes.
Miss Gilio,
Yes.
and let's see, Dante, Mr. Castellano,
No.
and Mr. Farley.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being a part of that, but the motion passes.
And any of you who have been following me for any length of time are well aware at this point how I feel about the Nashua Public School District, and in particular, this Democratic state representative who is also on the Nashua Board of Education, this woman. Because she often says very nonsensical things like this.
We have even smaller percentages of minority and low-income students being classified as honors today than we did in 2018. And those numbers were smaller than they were in 2008 when the question first came up. Something is happening to disenfranchise these students.
I mean, what could possibly be disenfranchising students? I mean, your priorities are in line, right? And I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with your crusade against parents or those pesky, continued, ever-present political views. I mean, certainly not when you called the FBI on parents. And for sure not when you called police to the board meeting to deal with parents at the board meeting. And a bit of a turn of phrase, or I don't know what else you would say, about your statement to police about the case that you worked. Past? I don't know if that's an accurate description or depiction of what actually happened regarding that case, but who am I to judge? The judge judged that. But I digress. Let's just look at some of the points. I mean, charter school enrollment is up 35% since 2019. No idea why that could be happening. School budgets up every single year, despite declining enrollment every single year. Well, minus 2 years. Since 2008. Governor Sununu stepping in to tell you all to open up the schools because Nashua continued to vote to keep them closed. Fear and panic over Mount Pleasant potentially closing due to serious structural issues that why didn't we address that when the school was closed? And in addition to the unleveling that you all just voted for, the changing of the weighted GPA and class rank last year or the year before for a more holistic approach. And then you also did spend a bunch of our tax money to hire a firm, to hire a superintendent, of which they did, and then we had to rescind the offer because they couldn't even be credentialed in our state to work as a superintendent. So great job there. The cyber or ransomware attack that we still know very little about as parents in the school district, what information is where. Still haven't really seen much for tangible policies regarding bullying in the schools. The teachers union and reps like Heather Raymond openly advocating against parental rights in education. And district-wide, only 20% of the students are proficient in reading. And 63% of Nashua High students are below proficiency in math. the redistricting study that you all just ignored. The state having to step in yet again to tell you all to cut it out with the mask mandates in school. The DOJ lawsuit and subsequent settlement for you unlawfully not providing ELA education to standard. And you did all also vaccinate a child at the elementary school last year without a parental consent form. But again, as we all very well know, elections have consequences.